Legends collide in Godzilla vs. Kong as these mythic adversaries meet in a spectacular battle, with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. Kong and his protectors undertake a perilous journey to find his true home, and with him is Gia, a young orphan girl with whom he has formed a unique and powerful bond. But they unexpectedly find themselves in the path of an enraged Godzilla, cutting a swath of destruction across the world. The epic clash between the two titans, instigated by unseen forces, is only the beginning of the mystery that lies deep within the core of the Earth. 5 years after Godzilla killed his extraterrestrial rival Ghidorah in 2019, he and Kong are currently the last known active titans on Earth. On Skull Island, the climate is destabilized, so Monarch now watches over Kong, who resides within a giant dome. Gia, the last Iwi native and the adopted daughter of Monarch anthropological linguist Ilene Andrews, who is deaf and has a bond with Kong, whom she communicates with via sign language, visits him. Meanwhile, Bernie Hayes, an employee of the Apex Cybernetics Corporation and host of a Titan conspiracy theory podcast, exfiltrates information suggesting sinister activities at a Pensacola Apex facility, but Godzilla suddenly attacks the facility. During the rampage, Bernie discovers a device resembling the Orca, previously used by the late Emma Russell to communicate with or control Titans, during the rampage. Madison Russell, now a young adult and a fan of Bernie's podcast, sees the news about Godzilla's recent attack and is worried. She talks to her widowed father, Mark Russell, on the phone, who is also concerned because Monarch doesn't know why Godzilla is acting crazy. Madison enlists the help of her friend Josh Valentine to investigate the cause of Godzilla's attack. Together, they find Bernie and sneak into the wrecked Apex base, discovering a secret facility deep underground. They are inadvertently locked and transported in a container carrying skullcrawler eggs, two-legged titans previously found by Monarch in 1973, through an underground tunnel to Hong Kong. There, they unwittingly intrude on a test of Mechagodzilla, a robotic doppelganger of Godzilla, telepathically controlled by Ren Serizawa, son of the late Ishiro Serizawa, through the neural networks of Ghidorah derived from a severed head, previously purchased by Alan Jonah and his group of terrorists in Mexico after Godzilla bit it off during his fight with Ghidorah underwater, that Apex had managed to retrieve. The test is cut short due to limitations of the power supply. It's then revealed that Apex intends to harness the power of an energy source in the Hollow Earth, an underground world below the Earth and the hidden home to the Titans, to overcome Mechagodzilla's limitations. Apex's founder and CEO, Walter Simmons, recruits Nathan Lin, a former Monarch scientist turned Hollow Earth theorist, to help guide them to the Hollow Earth in search of a powerful energy source. Nathan is initially hesitant because his brother tried to explore Hollow Earth, but a strong anti-gravity field inside the tunnel killed him. He agrees after Walter reveals that Apex has developed Heaves, specialized crafts to withstand the gravity field's pressure, which killed Nathan's brother. To help guide them to Hollow Earth in search of the energy source, Nathan goes to Skull Island, meets with Ilene, and convinces her to use Kong to lead them to the energy source. Nathan, Ilene, and an Apex team led by Walter's daughter Maya Simmons board a modified barge with Kong chained and lightly sedated. However, Godzilla attacks the military convoy partway through the voyage. Although inside Hollow Earth, they find an ecosystem similar to Skull Island. While traversing through the landscape, Kong and the team discover his ancestral throne room depicting an ancient war with Godzilla's race. They also find a glowing axe created by Kong's ancestors and made from the dorsal spines of another member of Godzilla's kind. As they discover the power source, Kong learns that the same power source can recharge the axe. The Apex team sends the power source's signature back to their Hong Kong base, but Godzilla, sensing the energy, makes landfall in Hong Kong and directly attacks the throne room via the Hollow Earth. Kong fends off Godzilla's atomic breath and the subsequent invasion of Hollow Earth creatures, but Maya and the rest of the Apex team are killed. Kong, Ilene, Gia, and Nathan escape through the hole to Hong Kong, where Godzilla and Kong fight again. Kong's axe allows him to repel Godzilla's atomic breath, allowing Kong to put up a fight. Godzilla is seemingly stopped, but he gets back up a few seconds later. The battle ends with Godzilla overpowering and severely injuring Kong, thus crowning Godzilla as the strongest of the two and, therefore, the Apex Titan. In the Apex base, a concerned Ren warns Walter that they haven't tested the new Hollow Earth energy source, fearing the consequences. However, Walter ignores his pleas and orders him to activate Mechagodzilla to use it to kill Godzilla. Unfortunately, security catches Bernie, Madison, and Josh and brings them to Walter. Suddenly, Mechagodzilla goes haywire under the influence of both the energy source and Ghidorah's neural networks, resulting in Ren's death by electrocution. Mechagodzilla, now possessed by Ghidorah's consciousness, awakens and kills Walter before emerging from Victoria Peak's base and rampages through the city, drawing Godzilla's attention. As Josh unsuccessfully tries to shut down the rampaging robot remotely, Godzilla and Mechagodzilla battle. However, Godzilla, weary from his last fight with Kong, is quickly overwhelmed, perhaps realizing that Ghidorah came back in a new robotic body. Meanwhile, Nathan's team revives Kong by detonating their vehicle on his chest to act as a defibrillator, and Gia convinces him to help Godzilla as he's not the enemy. The two titans team up to fight Mechagodzilla, but even Godzilla and Kong's combined strength is insufficient, and both are defeated. However, Josh short-circuits Mechagodzilla's controls with Bernie's flask of liquor and stalls the robot long enough for Godzilla and Kong to recover and resume fighting Mechagodzilla. Godzilla blasts the axe with his atomic breath, supercharging it and allowing Kong to destroy Mechagodzilla once and for all. Madison, Bernie, and Josh reunite with Mark while Godzilla and Kong briefly acknowledge each other before going their separate ways as Godzilla retreats into the sea. Sometime later, Ilene and Gia watch Kong, now ruling over his new home in the Hollow Earth, from an observation post. Adam Wingard's movie may have been billed as a titanic clash between the titular pair, but they aren't the only monster in the movie. As it turns out, certain sections of humanity haven't learned their lesson from Godzilla, Kong, Skull Island, or Godzilla, King of the Monsters. What have they done now? Well, they've made a robotic version of Godzilla. You read that right. Through a combination of cybernetics, one of King Ghidorah's skulls, Apex Cybernetics and some Hollow Earth energy, Apex Cybernetics, the film's antagonistic corporation, have made Mechagodzilla. If you want a primer on who, or what, Mechagodzilla is, you can read more in our Mechagodzilla Explainer article. If you just want answers for the film's ending, however, read on. As it turns out, Apex Cybernetics have created Mechagodzilla so that humanity has a way to combat Godzilla if it ever turned on them. It's a stupid idea on their part, given that Godzilla has left humanity alone since the end of King of the Monsters, but there's always someone looking to take advantage of a situation. To function properly, Mechagodzilla needs a greater energy source than Apex is able to provide. Long story short, they steal some Hollow Earth energy to power their creation and, true to form, things go terribly wrong. Mechagodzilla becomes sentient, thanks to a combination of the Hollow Earth power source and King Ghidorah's lingering consciousness, and starts leveling Apex Cybernetics' Hong Kong base. Godzilla, who has just bested Kong, finally meets its match during the ensuing battle. Powered by the Hollow Earth's energy and King Ghidorah's rage, Mechagodzilla immediately gains the upper hand of its namesake. Godzilla doesn't stand a chance against its arsenal of weapons, Hollow Earth energy surges and metallic shell, so it's unsurprising to see Mechagodzilla overpower its counterpart. Not all hope is lost, though. As we mentioned in the section above, Kong rejoins the fight after Gia, the little girl who Kong has a trusting relationship with, convinces him that Godzilla isn't his enemy. Rescuing Godzilla from certain death, Kong and his former adversary put their differences aside and team up to take Mechagodzilla down. After a pulsating clash that toes and froze, Godzilla supercharges Kong's axe with its nuclear breath and Kong cuts off Mechagodzilla's sting-like tail. Another axe swipe and its right arm falls to the ground, oil loosing from the wound in its shoulder. With Mechagodzilla on the back foot, Kong continues his assault. A chest-splitting swing is followed by Mechagodzilla's left arm and right leg being amputated, which results in it falling to the ground. Mechagodzilla prepares to unleash a nuclear breath attack, but another axe smash from Kong stops it in its tracks. Kong jumps onto his foe's fallen body and rips its head and upper spinal column out to finally end Mechagodzilla's reign of terror. Exhausted, Kong slumps to the floor. As humanity celebrates Kong's victory, however, Godzilla rises and heads towards the giant ape. Kong grabs his axe and readies himself for another fight. To his surprise, Godzilla silently recognizes that Kong saved its life and seems to offer him its respect. In reply, Kong drops his axe to de-escalate the situation. With the pair knowing where they stand, Godzilla swims off into the Pacific Ocean. Kong, alongside Gia, Dr. Lind and Dr. Andrews, returns to the Hollow Earth, which is now their home. Godzilla vs. Kong's ending certainly leaves the door open on solo movies for the pair, but Wingard himself says that any sequels will be dictated by audience demand. Speaking to Dread Central ahead of the film's release, Wingard said that the MonsterVerse was at a crossroads now. It's really at the point where audiences have to kind of step forward and vote for more of these things. If this movie is a success, obviously they, Warner Brothers, will continue forward. If there are to be sequels, it's likely that they'll take place in the Hollow Earth. There's still a lot we don't know about this subterranean world where Titans are supposedly born. Additionally, Exploring this world would ensure that there isn't another repeat of Warner Brothers' Titans fighting on Earth's furious formula. The Hollow Earth gives them creative license to portray the Hollow Earth however they see fit, and ensure that there are threats for Kong to deal with in his new kingdom. For now, Kong and Godzilla have gone their separate ways, and it's unclear if we'll see them or the monster-verse again. It's up to global audiences to decide whether there are future installments.